right, so the question is, how do I make boundaries with my partner without shutting down, without withdrawing, without closing off my heart? So, by the way, this applies to more than your partner. This could be with like friends, family, etc. I'm going to give you a Buddhist perspective on this, because from a more Western perspective, I feel like when we hear about boundaries, it's like, teach people how to treat you, as if it's coming from out there. In Buddhism, it's different. In Buddhism, in this system, everything that you're experiencing in your reality is actually coming from your mind, from your karma, and as a projection. Like, imagine the world's like this blank movie screen, including your partner, and your mind is what's projecting the experience. If that weren't the case, then every single person in the universe, their mother, sister, strangers, whoever, every person that, let's say, made a boundary with this person is gonna have the exact same experience as you. But we know that that's not true. That's not how it works. So this is an empowerment. If it's coming from you, it can change for the better if you start working smarter, not harder. The other thing about boundaries, again, from a Western perspective, is that boundaries tend to be like important for people who are people pleasers, who tend to self-abandon. Like, if you put up with anything and everything because you don't want to be abandoned or you don't want to be rejected, and then it builds and builds and all of a sudden you have these explosions, boundaries become this whole narrative of like a necessity. In Buddhism, it's like, treat people the way they want to be treated. Think about it. How do you want to be treated? Do you want to be, let's use an example of a boundary, okay? Like, let's say that when you get into an argument with your partner, your boundary is like, don't name call. Like, I don't want to be called names. That seems like a bare minimum to me, but let's be real. There's some crazy shit happening out there. So let's just say like name calling is a no-no for you. But then in Buddhism, why are you experiencing name calling in your partnership in an argument? That's coming from you. I'm going to give you the 4 laws of karma. The first law of karma is that like produces like. Meaning, if you experience a lot of anger in your relationship, it's from a cause that you planted in your mind. Like, you created the cause for that somewhere by you being critical and judgmental and angry. And now it's ripening in your relationship as this argument. Like produces like. You cannot get love from anger. So if you want more compassion and more love in your relationship, you have to offer that. You have to start treating your partner the way you want to be treated, the way they would like to be treated optimally. And if you don't, you're creating the causes for more bullshit. The second law of karma is that karma grows. So if you plant a little apple seed, if you keep watering it and create the right conditions, it grows into an apple tree. It grows. Number 3, every cause brings a result. If you are constantly having these angry little thoughts and you're constantly judging your partner, even if it's just in your mind and you're not saying it out loud, you're creating the causes for more anger later. Eventually it will ripen as things like a fight, yelling, name calling. It's a result of a cause that's coming from you. Okay, cause equals result. Now the 4th law of karma, no cause, no result. If you don't plant an apple seed, you're not getting an apple tree. And you're certainly not getting an orange tree, right? If you don't create the causes for more unconditional love, for more compassion, for more understanding, for less judgment, you're not going to experience that in your partnership. Your partner is like the blank movie screen that your mind is projecting onto. And so you've got to change the projection. How do you do that? You start to notice in mind, body, and speech where you are critical and negative and judgmental and angry. And then you have to stop responding in the same ways. Treat people the way they want to be treated. Is that so hard? Well, in a society where we're conditioned to only give to get certain things, and that we should never be the first one and they need to go first and they owe me. You guys, transaction is not love, okay? Tit for tat is not love. But unfortunately, that's the way a lot of people are conditioned. So if you want to make a boundary in your relationship, the boundary should start with you starting to treat your partner the way that you want to be treated. You're gonna start getting new results. It may not happen instantaneously, and yes, in some cases, maybe a boundary is necessary. But I just noticed that as I treat people the way that I would like to be treated and the way I know they want to be treated, I don't need all these boundaries anymore. It's like not a thing really anymore. Every so often, I experience a little ripening of something shitty and I'm like, oop, and I might need to speak up. But again, over time, you're just not going to need all these boundaries because you're not going to be like people pleasing, being manipulative covertly. Like, you're not going to be pulling strings. You're not going to be giving with all of these expectations, and therefore you're not going to be getting these results that are painful. So that's my thought on boundaries. Again, in this system, it's like you're taking the high road because you understand that if it's coming from you, you're the only one that can change it. But I understand that that's not how we're taught, and it's certainly not how the Western sort of view on relationships is, especially like sort of like the pop psychology stuff on Instagram, etc. It can take you to a certain point, but this will take you deeper. So if you want to start to transform your relationships like this, I can help you. You can join my membership, The Underground. The doors are going to open back up October 1st. So get on the wait list for that. That's where all the magic is happening. And if you want individual support with this and you want a breakthrough using this system, you can book a 45-minute sacred intimacy session. I do clarity sessions like this so that it's a starting point, and I always give you guys like a practice to go home with so you can start on your own. But of course, it's best to come into the membership for the longer term practice. Other than that, love you guys, and I will see you in the next one. Links for everything I mentioned are below.